Hello, my name is Ahmed CRS and I am on the behalf of the Federal Creative Agency presenting you our IMC plan for CRS. Now, just a quick summary about what to expect. Our plan is constructed by analyzing the current situation of the organization and the current issues college students face as young entrepreneurs. There are so many obstacles that startup businesses face due to a lack of information and training to initiate any process. Obstacles are due to a lack of support and resources from the education system, such as high schools and universities. We have conducted a situational analysis that will allow us to determine what the target markets are, analyzing the mentality and trends of entrepreneurs, and figure out how to tackle these issues. In order to do so, we have to come up with objectives and strategies that will help identify what the approach will be, and the approach is to inform and inspire the target market, such as the children, parents, college students, and businesses. It requires us to make school visits, implement direct marketing strategies, and communicate to local and trending businesses by personal selling. In addition, there will be a use of social media resources that will assist in executing the approach and increase brand awareness. And the overall budget of $7,000 will need to be used in a cost-effective manner. An evaluation process will determine whether or not the plan was truly effective in reaching the goals. Now, the situation regarding young kids, teens, college students who want to enter the retail industry as entrepreneurs or just to have an entry-level position is that regarding to entrepreneurship, 72% of high school students want to start their own business someday, and 61% expect to start a business right out of college. And young teens explore their interests and brainstorm ideas for different aspects of life. Some will contemplate about their plans during and after college in terms of what field they want to study in and what career they would like to have. And it's a common thing that during college, certain students take their time and steps to start their own businesses, but there are always difficult obstacles to overcome because there just aren't enough resources to help educate and aid them in the process. Over the years, there has been a trend of organizations or programs such as yours being initiated and working on partnerships with colleges and universities lately. However, the issue is to spread awareness, stay consistent with the project's message, and being efficient as possible that the target markets will be able to benefit from. Over the years, the CRS organization seems to have been making adequate success with the contests, conferences, sponsorships, and attendees. However, not every event, such as your contest and conference, covers every aspect as to what goes into the retail and sales industry, and they only have one or two of them per year. The issues that you have covered, the case issues that you have covered major areas such as customer service, reducing shrinkage, location analysis, filtering strategy, and pricing of products. However, there should also be a focus on non-store retailer like e-commerce, m-commerce, catalog sales, and in-home demonstrations, because the process of starting a startup business is not the same when it's a brick-and-mortar retailer and a non-store retailer. And so there has to also be a focus on finances and the legal processes, because college students and even young teens struggle to figure that out on their own. And just by taking a quick glance at your website and social media pages, you haven't been very creative or active on it lately. The website is bland. There seems to be very outdated with technical issues and not enough information. And overall, it seems as though the organization tries to stay consistent with their mission and message, but there needs to just be more activity in reaching out, especially when trying to work with the Lunchbox program that focuses on young entrepreneurs. Now, there are 4 target markets that we have identified: the children, the parents, high school students, and college students. Now, children who have an interest and passion will never be able to make a decision on starting up a business without agreement from their parents, and parents will just like to have information on how to initiate the process. There are so many articles about how many young kids have impacted society and provided products and services that benefited the public, and it was inspired from their interests and motivations. And parents aren't going to deny young kids that want to expand their interests and behaviors that the public will benefit from, but they need to understand what the resources are available to them in order to get the process moving. And the same thing goes through with high school teenagers, but they still need the support and the permission from their parents, but they will have a voice into what goes into the ideas, production, and the organization of their startup business. And for college students, they're already within their studies of their specific field, their major, and they're passionate in a certain area. However, there are still great areas for college students to overcome in order to start businesses of their own. The strength analysis of your organization is that you have strong connections with the Penn State and the local business community. There have been colleges and universities that are represented by students that have competed in contests and other events, and you have had willing businesses to participate and sponsor your events. Some of your weaknesses are there's not enough exposure of networking, competition, and workshop events. There's inactivity, like we said, on the website, social media pages, and YouTube. And there are not enough varieties regarding the case studies that pertain to certain industries and certain issues that need to overcome to start a business. Now, some of the opportunities will be to produce creative footage and content for social media applications, create partnerships with local and especially trending businesses, and connect with universities and their clubs, assisting students with their careers and entrepreneurship ideas. However, the negative side of things, the threats, will be that there are already universities that have their own programs and competitions within particular schools, and organizations that already have a larger following in reaching out to young entrepreneurs. They have a higher success rate, and they're already well known for it. Now, our first objective is to increase traffic and followers on the webpage and social media platforms in order to build awareness of the resources and tools that you provide. So specifically for the website, traffic should have about 100 visitors per month over the next 12 months, and the strategy for that would to be very active, update on current events and news such as networking, career fairs, workshops, and certain sponsors. And a tool that will help with that analyzing this would be Google Analytics. They will be analyzing visits to certain posts in the overall website. Now, regarding to social media pages such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, there should be an initial following base of 500 followers by the end of the year. The YouTube page should have its own independent page, not connected to any university, with 500 subscribers, with at least 100 views on the content produced, and sponsors and businesses should account to 25% of the followers and any views on any social media page, and especially the YouTube content. Now, the primary goal is just for our messages to inform the public in a creative manner that will provide an insight on the organization has to offer in terms of networking, career paths, development, entrepreneurship, workshops, and sponsorships. So these will be creative and motivational messages about the brand by going through the social media platforms and posting these contents before, during, and after certain events. The second objective is to create a sense of community to increase the amount of participant attendees and sponsors by every event by 10%. You currently have 29 teams that have participated in the past years. There's been 32 sponsorships also over the past years, and the amount of people that have attended these events average about 190. And for the case events, you have about, it's safe to assume, 250 attendees. In order to increase the number of participant attendees and sponsorships over the years, there needs to be communication of spreading the consistent message to the community. There should be active usage of these social media platforms and other forms of communication for everyone to stay involved. Your brand positioning is that the mission is to represent the brand to the target market as trustworthy, informative, inspirational, that provides the services and assistance for students' careers, their businesses, startup ideas. In order to do so, the message needs to be consistent on every social media and internet platform the organization has and uses. Now, some of the IMC mix and creative ideas. The first one is direct marketing, which is targeted toward the children market between the ages of 10 and 17 with creative direct mail. And the idea is just to ignite a spark to a kid's or teenager's initial idea to starting a business by sending a creative direct mail to their homes. The mail will have creative concepts of what the retail and sales industry will appear as that will inspire them. The idea is simple as eliminate stand-up to something complex as tech savvy will have kids and parents explore options based on passion and interest. This will lead them to the updated website with all the services and resources the organization can provide and what events are currently on the schedule. Now, for the adults and parents under direct marketing tactic, we'll be using internet marketing, and it'll be use of email and Facebook to get in touch with the parents that seek more information about the organization and the industry, as parents brought to the website due to the creative direct mail received for their kids and teens. They will have an option to follow certain social media pages and opt in for email lists that will pertain information and updates. The reason is that parents tend to focus more of their time on email and Facebook when on their phones or computers. For the college market, the third idea is to use social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, another way to target the market is by having a YouTube channel that will advertise and summarize the events held by the organization. Young college students tend to spend a lot of time on these social media applications, and they are easiest tools to find new or more information about any trending topic. Creative and informative content again will be posted on these pages, and followers will be able to voice their opinion not only to the organization but to each other as well. Posts can be reposted by these followers on any of the platforms and spread the message about your organization. Overall, this creates a community where students can get together and connect and attend events together and compete in contests. The second is school visits, and for the children market, we can attend elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and can easily inspire and inform young kids about the retail and sales industry. And assemblies are very beneficial to the students because it allows them to get introduced to a whole different subject. These presentations or organizations can be very exciting for kids when they target the audience's imaginations. Regarding the college market, universities are compiled of multiple schools where students can study a certain field. The students or the schools will tend to organize and set up clubs or faculties to invite students to participate. There's been multiple events where students and professors set up events such as networking and career fairs. Other events will hold speakers for certain businesses that inform more about the industry to students. The CRS can reach out to multiple universities and the clubs and speaking out about their services and career opportunities. And now for the third tactic, personal selling, which is targeted towards businesses. Local businesses in the communities will tend to be very active and supportive in one way or another. The one way they gain support and improve their businesses is by being involved in some fashion. They're willing to start partnerships, but sometimes they need a little push or persuasion to initiate the process. They have the knowledge and insight of their particular industry, and organizations such as CRS just need to introduce themselves and spread their message. Having businesses assist in the CRS mission in accomplishing their goals needs persuasion as to how this benefits them and the students. Now, the budget granted to us will not cause any constraints of executing the plan. The digital marketing and online marketing are relatively reasonable. Advertising expenses for the website, social media pages, and YouTube will roughly use 75% of the budget. Updating the logo and the website to match with the theme of the Lunchbox would use about 10% of the budget. Regarding setting up events in terms of rent, speakers, equipment, props, and expenses would take up 30% of the budget. The expenses for evaluation and measurement systems and the methods implemented to calculate the effectiveness of the plan would use 20% of the budget. Traveling and other expenses would use about 15% from going to the school, university, and local business. And just to evaluate, the first step is by using analytics to measure how many visits or views occurred on the website, social media pages, and YouTube. It is necessary to determine whether or not the creative and informative content displayed attracted more interest to the CRS. This can be done with the use of Google Analytics, which will need some configuration and data input to initiate the analysis of the website visits. Regarding social media pages and the YouTube, the information can be gathered by comparing the numbers of views and followers quarterly during the year and at the end of the year. In terms of the views and opinions of the student sponsors and sending out physical or electronic forms of surveys will determine whether or not the events were effective and there are changes needed to be made in the near future. Another evaluation process would be measuring the amount of applications for sponsorships, members, and internships. We can analyze how many applied and got accepted for such positions at every quarter of the year and the total analysis at the end of the year. Finally, the CRS will need to evaluate how well they spend the budget so that the marketing plan can come out to be effective by implementing all tactics. In conclusion, the organization will be transferring over to Penn State and joining the theme similar to Launchbox by Penn State Lehigh Valley. Certain business startup ideas could fall under the retail and sales industry, and certain processes can get very complicated to understand complete. That is where the CRS organization will step in, but needs to gather attention and support by having a brand new website, update and add new social media pages with the new logo, and post creative and informative content. Most of the staff have been volunteers, and they would like to start an internship program for themselves as well as for local businesses. The organization has held multiple events such as career workshops, networking, case competitions, and conferences. They have consistently had adequate amount of support with the people attending them and businesses sponsoring these events since the beginning. However, your current goals are to continue to target other retail businesses, students interested in the retail industry. In order to do so, they need to find ways to target the children, parents, college students, and businesses. Being very active on the website, social media pages, and scheduling visits should attract interest and help start an internship program, increase business memberships and sponsorships, increase attendance, and offer more events and enough money for scholarships.